going to have solved triangles using the law of cosines. Okay? Now, you can use any letter, right? It doesn't matter, but we're going to use this formula. Okay? C squared, and this is what you learned in your notes. We're going to use this one. A squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. You can use any of them, though, as long as you're consistent with it. You could have used the a squared equals and the b squared equals. It doesn't matter, okay? All right, and we're going to say that a equals 14, b equals 10, and therefore c is what we're trying to find out, and cosine c is going to equal cosine 55. Okay, now we're just going to substitute these numbers in. C we don't know, so we're going to leave it c squared. Then a is going to go into 14. I'll make a be red, so that'll be 14 squared. Plus, we'll make b green, 10 squared, minus 2 times a, which is 14, and then b, which is, b is 10, and then times, and I'm out of room here, so I apologize for that. I'll make this one yellow, I don't know, blue, times cosine 55. Okay, so that should be here, but I just ran out of room. Okay, all right, now we're gonna just calculate as much. We're gonna combine like terms first. Okay, we're just gonna solve for c. So c squared equals 14 squared is 196 plus 100 minus 2 times 14 is 28, and then 28 times 10 is 280, times cosine 55. Okay? Then we're going to keep combining like terms. We'll get c squared equals 296 minus 280 times cosine 55. Okay? Now that's as far as we can combine like terms. So next, final step, we want to get rid of the squared, right? So we're going to square root both sides. So that gets rid of the squared, and we get c equals, so it should be a number between 14 and 10 if we did it right, okay? So it's going to be square root 296 minus 280 times cosine 55. Oops. Times cosine 55. All right. So square root all this stuff in there, and that should come up with an answer. 11.63. Okay? So that's going to be 11.6. And it was between 10 and 14. So 11.6, and that should be the right answer. There you go. Okay? Same process. Okay? Now this one, again, you want to just make each one of these whatever you want. Maybe you just do, I like to do smallest to biggest, ascending order. Okay, now we're going to find, what do we need to find? B. Okay, measure B, which is across from C, so we can still use the c squared formula. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we have to use the c squared one because we're going to use cosine c at the end. Okay, so we need to find whatever c is at the end. So we're going to have c squared, which is, let me write the formula first. C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. Okay? So that's going to be 15 squared equals a is 7, 7 squared plus b is 11, 11 squared minus 2 times 7 times 11, and that's going to be multiplied by, see if I can write it in there. Oh, I got it in all there. Okay, cosine c. Okay? All right. It's a lot, huh? Okay. So this 15 squared, it's 225, I believe. Yep, 225. Okay, just wanted to make sure. 225 equals 49 plus 49 plus 121 squared. So I'm going to just put this in my calculator. 7 squared plus 11 squared. That's 170 minus 2 times 11 is 14. 14 times 11 is 154. So minus 154 times cosine c. All right, now we're going to combine like terms. So we're going to make this over here equal this, okay? So we're going to get this 170 over here, okay? So we're going to subtract 170 from both sides, and that's going to be 55 equals negative 154 cosine c. All right, okay. Lastly, we want to get cosine c alone, so we're going to divide by negative 154. And that's going to be 55 divided by negative 154. And we can keep it that way. That's fine. You don't need to make it a decimal. I prefer you don't make it a decimal. That way you don't have to round or anything like that or write long decimals. And that's cosine c equals 55 over negative 154. Now we can't find c by just plugging this in. Okay, we have to use inverse cosine, okay? So arc cosine equal, parentheses 55 over negative 154. There you go, okay? Now let's put it in. Let's see if we can get it. So arc cosine 55 divided by negative 154. Okay, so hopefully that works. I've never done a negative in this calculator. All right, there we go. Now, if you look at it, 110 is a reasonable degree. 100 nearest degree, so 111. You want to round to the nearest degree means make it a whole number. Okay, so you're going to round up because of that 9. But that's a reasonable number. If I got something like 200, that doesn't make sense because you can't have anything above 180 in this. If I even got something like 160, 170, it's probably not going to be that. That would look much different. Be squished up. There you go. Okay. All right. This one, again, we'll do c squared. Okay, so we'll do c squared. So we'll do a equals 12. B equals 15, C equals we don't know, and then cosine 83, okay, for cosine C. All right, then we have C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C, okay? You notice, I mean, this stuff is just a lot of steps, and it's got these funky words like cosine C, but it's mainly just Algebra 1, balancing equations, okay? So we have c squared. Can't do anything with that. We're trying to find that. A squared is going to be 12 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 12 times b, which is 15, times cosine 83. I'm going to put this whole thing in my calculator and see what I get. 12 squared, I'm putting this in my calculator, plus 15 squared. Let's see. I don't want to do it in decimals because then I can't see it. Okay, minus 2 times 12 times 15 times cosine 83. Okay, 325. So if you calculate that, put this whole thing in your calculator, you're going to get c squared equals 325.1270364. Remember, you don't want to round until the end. You'll get a more precise answer. And you're going to square root everything. So in my calculator, I'm hitting square root, and then I'm hitting second answer in a graphing calculator. And I get 18.03. We're doing nearest tenth, so we're doing 18.0. 18.0. The reason I put 0.0 is I'm telling whoever sees this, hey, I rounded to the 10th place. Okay, if I just put 18, they would think I rounded to the nearest degree. All right, does that make sense? Okay, 83, this looks like it's the biggest angle. This looks like the biggest side, but it's not that much bigger than 15. So yeah, that looks about right. There you go. Okay, so that's another way. All right, this one we're going to find an angle. We're going to find angle B. Okay, so we want to use that c squared formula. So we're going to make whatever angle B is C. So we'll make 14C. Oh, you know what? It's the last one, so let's just do it a little bit different. Let's use another formula. So we'll say A, and we'll keep going with this rule of making the smallest A and the middle B, and C equals 15. Now we're going to solve for B squared. And again, they don't matter. You could have used the c squared formula as long as you made C 14. So B squared, and then it's the other two angles, A squared plus C squared minus 2 times the other sides, AC times cosine B. Okay? Now we're going to substitute these numbers in. We have 14 squared equals 8 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 8 times 15 times cosine B. Now we're going to simplify all this. Again, you could calculate this all in one step. Let's put this all in this one. So we have 8 I don't think it lets us do this. Oh yeah, like this. 8 squared plus 15 squared minus 2. Ooh, we can't do it this way. So we're just going to do it like that. Okay? That's going to be 289. And then this one is 196 equals 289, or 225 plus 64, which is 289, minus, and then 2 times 8, and I'm going to do these here so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. So we have negative 2 times 8 times 15. That's negative 240. Cosine B. Now we're going to subtract 289 from both sides. So 196 minus 289. That's negative 93 equals negative 240 cosine B. Now we want to get rid of this coefficient, right? This is negative 240 times cosine B. So what's the inverse of multiplication? It is division. So we're going to use division property of equality. Now we'll leave this as a fraction. We can just leave this as a fraction. We'll get rid of the negatives though, just to simplify the fraction just a little bit. So then we're going to have, in our calculator, we're going to put 93 over 240. Doesn't ran out of room. And this is going to be equals cosine B, right? Well, we can't just put cosine B in there. We have to make it inverse, okay? So in your calculator, I'm going to put it over here. This is what you'll put in your calculator. Cosine, inverse cosine, parentheses 93 divided by 240, okay? And we get 67 degrees, okay? Nearest degree, so 67, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, it seems reasonable, okay? This almost looks like, okay, let's see. Which one are we trying to find? Angle B, right? So 67 plus 67 is 134, which leaves you 56 degrees. So this one's about 56 degrees, and then these are each 67. That seems reasonable. There you go. Okay.